Hey, welcome back to my channel. Here we'll be explaining how to use key attributes in React. Okay, so let's get started. Here you need to remember that keys are only unique between sibling elements and they don't need to be globally unique in your application. So here you've been given a functional component named frameworks, and it has to map an array to an unordered list like the similar previous challenge that we did, and you have to put those items inside the list elements. And these are some of the conditions. The framework should render h1 element. The framework component should exist and render to the page, and they should be ul elements and list elements. So let's see, the map method was done earlier, so we just repeat it with a bit of a twist. So here the const front-end frameworks, the front-end frameworks component, you've been given, the array is already provided with some programming languages, and then you have another component which is a function frameworks, in which you have to make these changes under the const render frameworks, which has been provided as null, but you need to change this. So const render frameworks will be, so here is the point where you need to do the mapping. Now what you need to do the mapping, because here you want to render the list item, the items that are in the array, the above array. So the front-end framework array you need to map. You already know how to map. So front-end framework with all these items in the array, you need to map that. So dot map, you've seen how to do that, and in case you're confused about mapping, you can refer to my the mapping tutorial in one of the lists out there. So dot map, and then inside the parenthesis, what are you going to map? Obviously the items inside the array, right? So you can write items, you can write item, you could write x, L, Y, anything, as long as it indicates what you're going to map. So if you write item, it's a bit easier, because as a programmer, it's always better to write terms that you can understand, and others who are reading your code can understand better, which are closer to English. So here I write it as item, that is items from the array. You can mean that. Now this could be with a singular or plural, doesn't matter. So dot map item, and then you have to use the arrow. We are using the arrow as in ES6. So you're mapping that, and then out of mapping, what are you expecting here? You need to use the JSX. You need to write the JSX within the list elements. So this is the list open list element and closed list element. As part of outcome of the map, you need to put those items or item which is mapped within the list element, and UL is already provided. This is supposed to be, remember, unordered list. So now, what is the question? The question is, you're supposed to give a unique identifier key to the list element. Now here, you're giving the key as item. The reason of giving this key, the key identifier, is so that you can identify what is being rendered later as a reference. It's the idea of giving key is as a matter of identification. What is being changed, what is being added, what is being removed. And then when you're doing that, it's better to use term like, for example, in this it is item, and then it is, you write the same term item as the JSX within the curly braces here. So you know what you're supposed to make as unique here, what is supposed to be changed, added, or whatever the changeable item with a key. That is the item, right? The item from the array is the one that you want to be an identifiable item that can be changed, added, or removed. So that's why they say give it unique between the sibling items, give it the same referencing item, so that you know what is being given as an identifier. In this case, the idea is to give the identification for the item. Why? Because it's the item that you're mapping. An item you're writing as JSX so that it can be read as JavaScript in React, which you know already. So when you do that, Instead of item, if you write some other unique value as a ky whatever, then in future when you're referencing, you don't know what you're actually identifying. So in this case, you know it is the item that you're wanting to identify as whatever you're trying to change, add, remove, that is going to be rendered. It's the item that is going to be rendered. So write the same item as the unique key, and remember to write the curly braces within the curly braces. So you're done. It's alive. You're running it. You're able to run it, and done. Remember to subscribe. Smash that bell button.